We're just on time for what's making headlines today. But before we get into the business of the day, here are the highlights.
The news headlines in association with
On Lookup News tonight, President William Ruto said to increase value-added tea for export to 50% as he flags off the fast consignment of Kenyan tea to Ghana. TSC approves 8 teachers to be in the CBC task force set to review the curriculum as Kenya joins the world in marking World Teachers Day.
Kama emergency chakula iko kwa hii cereal ya Lodwar. Bwana wanastoa, siwalete, wapatie watu. Hata maji, aweke kwa magari, wapelekee watu.
Hatujui kwa hile maisha sisi tuko naye saa hii, Turkana kweli. Tutaanza kukula tena maumbwa.
And Turkana residents receive food and supplies as the government moves with speed to alleviate the dire drought situation ravaging at least 23 counties.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
Once more, welcome to the broadcast. I am Nancy Nelima, and our sign language interpreter for tonight is Josephine Ouko. Do stay with us as we bring you up to spirit stories that are making headlines. The hashtag is Lookupnews, and you can engage with us across our social media platforms at Lookuptv on Twitter, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. Now let's begin. President William Ruto has today flagged off the inaugural export of tea to Ghana under the now establishment of African Continental Free Trade Area. The head of state has lauded this export as a major milestone in tapping into the business opportunity provided by expansive African market. President Ruto says Kenya will seek to leverage on this opportunity to venture into new markets for the Kenyan tea in order to boost income for farmers as well as realize improved export income. Here's our reporter Henry Tende with more.
Wednesday, the 5th of October, marked a special occasion in the trade relations on the African continent. Kenya, under the leadership of President William Ruto, flagged off the inaugural consignment of tea export to Ghana, officially opening the continent's market under the now established African Continental Free Trade Area. President Ruto urging the African states to take advantage of the open market to boost trade as the continent aims to catch up with other established trading blocs across the globe.
I want to take this occasion, Mr. Secretary General, to ask our brothers and sisters in this continent that it is indeed in our interest that we actualize the benefits that come with the infrastructure that is being built by the Africa Continental Free Trade Area so that our continent can take its rightful place as a mover in the economy of the world.
Back home, the head of state says there is a need to look into issues affecting tea production in order to boost returns.
Our next agenda, when we will be discussing our budget, is to eliminate any barriers in the tea sector that come as a result of matters taxation. We are going to look at the cost-benefit analysis on VAT on tea, whether it is helping the farmers or it is stifling our value addition agro-processing trajectory.
To establish our mark on the world, President Ruto has urged stakeholders in the tea sector to work towards building a reputable brand for Kenyan tea to compete internationally.
For a very long time, Kenya has produced tea that has helped everybody brand their low-quality tea. I think it is time we help ourselves. We have helped everybody, which is fine, but it is time we ourselves take the advantage of our good quality tea and brand it, and anybody else who wants to use our good quality tea must come and work with us.
Kenya is one among the few producers of quality tea, and the Continental Free Trade Area is a welcome platform that will see the country exploit African markets for the mutual benefit of farmers and the African states.
I think it's unfair for our brothers and sisters in this continent to drink low-quality tea when they can have the best quality tea from their own brothers and sisters from Kenya.
Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
Thank you, Henry Tende. And now to some education matters. The Teacher Service Commission, led by its CEO, Nancy Macharia, has lauded President William Ruto for his move to include 8 teachers on the task force mandated with reviewing the implementation of the competency-based curriculum. Macharia's comments were seconded by teachers' unions during the celebrations to mark the World Teachers' Day. Ian Kitani now files.
During the celebrations to mark World Teachers' Day, Teacher Service Commission CEO Nancy Macharia has expressed her gratitude to President William Ruto for inclusivity in the naming of the task force, urging stakeholders in the education sector to ensure they submit their views to the task force, calling on teachers not to be left out on the same.
As you are aware, His Excellency, the President, William Ruto, last week formed a presidential working party to look into the issues concerning CBC. I wish to thank the President for appointing 8 teachers to the team and also ensuring that the TSC Secretariat is well represented in the working party. As the TSC, we commend and welcome this bold step to engage Kenyans on the implementation of the CBC in line with the Constitution. I urge all teachers and officials of the teacher associations and unions to make presentations as would be required of the team to ensure that our country's education sector remains on the right trajectory. The Commission is fully prepared to comply with the recommendations.
The Kenya National Union of Teachers, led by Secretary General Collins Ayu, has indicated that the union does not feel aggrieved by being left out of the task force, assuring the task force of their full support. Ayu, however, indicated that the union had noted issues with the curriculum, but their reservations were not heard, terming this as a golden opportunity to present their views, remaining optimistic that the reservations will be heard.
I want to say here, without contradicting myself, that Kenya National Union of Teachers had seen the problems in the CBC rollout. And I want to make reference to 2019, around March thereabout. We conducted a fully fledged research on the implementation of the competency-based curriculum. And we had the research findings. Our topic was teacher preparedness for the same. Teachers were not prepared. The CBC was rolled out. So we kept on pushing, and we really wanted to get our space. We still have those research findings. The fact that teachers were not prepared, you can see what has happened. I'm happy. Quite a number of teachers have been picked to be in the task force. I'm equally happy about the secretariat. You know, when you look at Elias from the Ministry of Education as the Director General, he has the knowledge, he has the capacity to drive the secretariat, alongside Dr. Ndamburi, who is the Director, Teacher Service Commission, Quality Assurance. So we are actually set.
The leaders spoke at the celebrations to mark World Teachers' Day at the Kenya School of Government, where teachers were lauded for the brilliant work they're doing to ensure continuity of the country's growth. 264 teachers were awarded in the event, pumped with color, with various education stakeholders and government officials attending the event. Ian Kitani, Lookuptv.
Thank you, Kaitani. Now, the two matatu operators of Moina Sacco who went viral for misbehaving on the road with dangerous stunts on Wednesday appeared before resident magistrate of Makadara Law Courts, Amasi Kivuti, where they were charged with 4 counts. The driver denied the charges, but the matatu tout accepted the charges. Mark Ndwati with the details.
In the video that has since gone viral, 2 conductors are seen hanging and performing some sort of gymnastics on a moving matatu along the busy Jogo Road. The danger of it all spiking a debate across social media. The 2 touts on Wednesday were arraigned at the Milimani Law Courts. Evans Mutemi, who was charged with driving without the necessary documents, denied the charges and was released on a cash bail of 200,000 shillings.
So the accused is granted cash bail of 100,000 shillings with 1 contract parcel or a bond of 200,000 shillings with 1 surety.
Leonard Katana, the matatu conductor, accepted the charges and was released on a cash bail of 30,000.
There should be an extra one. You will be supplied with the charge sheet today and statements. She has undertaken to do that. Okay. So we can fix for hearing for on November 3rd. Is convenient. That's convenient.
Some of the charges facing the 2 include 4 counts among them: failing to wear a uniform, reckless driving, riding on dangerous position, contrary to Section 61 Cap 403 of the Traffic Law of Kenya, and failing to expiate a recent photograph of the driver.
Including the nature, condition and use of the road and the amount of traffic which is actually at the time or which might reasonably be expected to be on the road.
NTSA has highly condemned the act, asking Kenyans not to be hesitant in reporting such cases. The matter will be heard on 3rd of November this year. Wangari Njoroge, Lookuptv.
Right, and that story was produced by Mark Ndwati and voiced by Wangari Njoroge. Moving on, members of the National Assembly have begun their 4-day sitting to debate on President William Ruto's first address in the Parliament. On the debate, the Azimio-allied members of the Parliament punched holes in Ruto's speech, stating that he did not focus on major issues like corruption. Shadra Karevia with that report.
Number of time, the mover, who is the Deputy Speaker.
Even as they await for the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, to settle the matter on the majority coalition in the National Assembly, members of Parliament began their 4-day sitting to debate on President William Ruto's speech.
The Honorable Rindigiri Mugambi.
The motion exposed political differences as the MPs allied to the Kenya Kwanza alliance mostly participated in the debate as they praised Ruto's address.
The His Excellency President started by talking about governance. And I want to thank him because he is one person who has suffered because of a regime that did not honor the governance in this country. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency President has committed himself to the rule of law. He has committed himself to respect the independence of judicially and the independence of this Parliament.
And sometimes, Mr. Speaker, those kind of law foolism, Mr. Speaker. Remember, Mr. Speaker, when I had a meeting recently, His Excellency the President had a meeting, and they brought down to 40% the churches, Mr. Speaker, where these foolisms are. Mr. Speaker, as we talk today, we are people who are benefiting from that excursion, from that good organization of the President.
While those allied to the Azimio coalition despised it. According to Migori Women Representative Fatuma Mohamed, the speech did not highlight key issues like war against corruption.
I expect him to speak more on corruption. The moment we don't mention corruption all the time, then we start thinking it's a norm to live with, which is not. As much as the Bible mentions Jesus, so should any member or any leader of this country open his mouth. You should say corruption, even if he has nothing to talk about.
Azimio legislators asked the president to also consider regions that did not vote for him in his development agenda.
To look into Migori County I know he knows that we did not vote him so much. He got very little, but he should just blink his eye and support Migori people, because after all, we are all Kenyans.
Constituency Development Fund, CDF, and the ASLA funds were served out in the debate as the leaders gave their opinions.
He knows the enormous, he knows the extent to which CDF has supported the Kenyan child in this country, Speaker. So, Speaker, therefore, we move together to see that we entrench CDF. And not only that, Mr. Speaker, we have the affirmative action, Mr. Speaker.
On this note, I request, Mr. President, to hand over the Hustler Fund into the hands of the women who are the county MPs. Reason being, we are the people who in our docket we serve the disabled, the women, and the youth.
Shadrach Kareria, Lookuptv.
And that story by Shadrach Kareria takes us to a very fast break here on Lookup News. But don't go too far. We'll be back with so much more on the other side, including our daily segment of Your Opinion Matters.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optiven's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with Lookuptv. The hashtag is LookUpNews. Do let us know where you're watching us from and what your thoughts are on the different stories that we have lined up for you today. I'll be sampling some of your feedback at the tail end of this bulletin at LookUpTv on Twitter, LookUpTv on Facebook, and LookUpTv on our YouTube channel. Moving on, residents of the Lokichar area, Turkana County, continue to decry the adverse effects of the ongoing drought that has left their livestock dead. The locals now saying they're fearing for their lives as food scarcity is getting worse by the day and requires urgent attention. Edwin Mukora with more.
It's the journey of these residents of Turkana County who have to travel more than 30 kilometers to camp at the Catholic Church office in Lodwar to get relief food. The residents, who include the disabled, the sick and the elderly, have traveled from different parts of the county in search of food. The residents have been affected by the scars of drought that continues to affect millions of Kenyans.
Hata mbuzi ambaye tuko naye hakuna, kila kitu imeisha, na sasa kenye imebaki ni sisi kuangamia. Sasa tunahitaji serikali ya leo atusaidie.
Uone sasa penye mbuzi na ziko, utahesabu mambavu kwa ngozi paka mwisho ukuona, na singine inakufa hata hakuna kenye binadamu anaweza sema anataka kukula. Sasa hatujui kwa hile maisha sisi tuko naye saa hii Turkana kweli tutaanza kukula tena maumbwa.
The locals calling on the government to come to their aid as the situation is dire. Further, the residents have accused the leaders they voted for in the just concluded general elections of neglecting them in the time of need.
Wana wanastoa, siwalete, wapatie watu. Hata maji, aweke kwa magari, wapelekea watu.
Watu wetu ambaye tulitoa juzi, wajitokesee haraka kwa upesi kabla sisi hatujaangamia.
Edwin John Mokora, Lookuptv.
And now let's over to the Western region, where a 2-month-old child who was said to be killed by his family in Kakamega County for claims of being born against the culture has been saved and taken to a children's shelter in Bungoma. Good Samaritans from Kakamega and Bungoma counties have united to ensure the safety of the mother and child. Rhoda Moringo with the details.
It is a second chance at life for a 2-month-old boy after Good Samaritans came to the rescue, saving him from a well-orchestrated murder.
Ni jambo la kuhuzunisha sana ambapo tuliweza kupokea ripoti katika afisi zetu kuu za shirika letu kuwa kuna mtoto ambapo amezaliwa, dada na ndugu wameweza kuzaa mtoto wa miezi 2 ambapo kulingana na jamii mtoto kama huyo hastahili, na ilikuwa kuwa huyo mtoto aweze kuuawa. Ndiposa nikaweza kuchukua hatua kushirikiana na idara mbalimbali pamoja na idara ya watoto katika kaunti ya Kakamega. Ndiposa tumeweza kufikia hapa siku ya leo ili tuweze tukaokoa maisha ya huyo mtoto.
Angry family members had resulted to killing the infant, saying he was born contrary to their cultural Luya beliefs. It is reported that the child's grandfather was angered by his daughter's act of engaging in sexual activities with her 16-year-old cousin, which ended up with the girl delivering a baby boy.
Wanapoketi nao, usiogope mtoto wako, hata awe umri mdogo, uweze kumweleza yale mambo ambapo anapaswa kujua kama mtoto kijana ama kama mtoto msichana. Ndiposa mambo kama haya tutaweza kuyazuia.
This child's mother has been kept in a detachment center for girls in Kakamega, where she is expected to be cancelled before returning to school to continue with her studies.
Hivi sasa mtoto ataokolewa pamoja na mama atapitizwa katika hali ya ushauri ili aweze kutulizwa moyo na pia aweze kupewa mafunzo zaidi kuhusu yale ambapo yanatendeka. Na pia kijana tutamtafuta bado, manake ndani mwake ametoroka, ana amani katika moyo wake, chochote chaweza kumtokea.
Mimi nilikuwa nataka kuomba jamii, watoto kama hawa ambayo kweli hawawezi kupata maadili mema kutoka kwa mtu yoyote mzima pale, hawezi kupata mwongozo bora katika jamii. Mimi nilikuwa naomba washirikiane na idara za polisi na zile stakeholders ambao wanatetea haki ya watoto, kwa sababu kama wangefanya hivyo haya yote hayangefanyika.
Rhoda Moringo, Lookuptv.
Thank you, Moringo, for that story. Now, President William Ruto's directive to lift the ban on genetically modified organisms, GMO, in a cabinet memo on Monday has elicited debate on the safety of the engineered farm produce. And our reporter, Mutheu Ndalana, went out to engage Kenyans on the street about their views on the contentious matter.
President William Ruto recently lifted the ban on GMOs that was scrapped off in 2012. Today, on Your Opinion Matters, Kenyans react to the turn that has taken place 10 years later.
Kula mnasema hizo za GMO hizo vyakula ni mbaya sana kwa afya ya mwanadamu. Na hiyo ndio unaona kansa imekuwa mingi sana hapa Kenya. Alafu kitu ya pili, hizo vyakula ile mbinu wanatumia kuitengeneza. Ile madawa kwanza wanatumia kutengeneza. Imeharibu mashamba zetu huko nyumbani. Sasa ile mtu anachukua hiyo mbolea anaweka kwa shamba, inachoma shamba kabisa. Hata huwezi panda kitu kingine hapo ndani.
Mambo ya kuhusu GMO mimi siwezi advocate hiyo. Kitu ya kwanza GMO inakuwa cancerous. Na italeta health issues kwa Wakenya. Hivyo mimi siwezi advocate GMO. Siwezi advocate GMO.
Hiyo mimi nakashifu hizo vitu, sio vitu mzuri. Hata ndizi ukikula moja tu hivi unasikia tumbo inakufura, inakuruma, hata ile harufu ile ya ndizi. Ndizi inaiva kwa siku 2 imeiva ama siku 1. Kwa hiyo mimi nakashifu hizo vitu, sio vitu mzuri.
Vitu tu inaletwa kuletea watu shida, kwa sababu tangu tusaliwa hatujawahi kula vitu ambayo inakuwa imported kutoka nje. Hata ikiwa mahindi sisi wenyewe tunakusa hapa Kenya tunatengeneza wenyewe. So hizi vitu za kutoka nje inamaanisha zitatuletea shida kwa Wakenya. Ndio unaona hata sasa hii ugonjwa inakuja, sijui kansa yenye hata wengine hatukusikia. Ugonjwa inakuja tofauti kwa sababu ya vitu ya kutolewa nje za nje.
Mimi niko sawa na GMO because most of the things I use ni za GMO. Yeah.
Okay, mimi naona tuko tu sawa. Cause kuna farmers wana earn from it.
Okay, according to watu sisi wa Kenya, wengine sisi tumegrow tukikula organic foods. So story na GMO sielewi venye iko, lakini kama haina effect yoyote tunaweza tumia, but kama kuna effect afadhali haingeliftiwa hiyo ban.
These are just but a few opinions of the people of Kenya, but most of the people are displeased with the move. Mudeundalana, Lookuptv.
Thank you, Mudeundalana. Of course, very diverse opinions from Kenyans right there. And it doesn't stop there. Let's keep the conversation going across our social media platforms. Time now to keep up with what's happening across the counties. Kisii County government has released 20,000 vaccines against anthrax to areas that have seen an outbreak of the disease. Kisii Deputy Governor Robert Munda has said the move is an immediate to ensure the disease does not spread to other parts of the county. Our reporter Pres Kanjere with more.
The county government of Kisii has flagged off a consignment of anti-anthrax vaccine doses to curb the disease's outbreak at Bomarida Ward in Bonchari constituency.
The report indicates that we have anthrax in Bomarida Ward in Bonchari. This is a contagious disease. It will spread if not contained. And so the purpose of this exercise is to stop the disease from further spread, so that it doesn't go to animals elsewhere beyond where it has been detected. At the centers that have been identified for vaccination, first I'm guided that we are doing it in Bonchari, and then we shall spread it out to the rest of the county.
Anthrax is a contagious disease spread by livestock through its products like meat and can be fatal. Its symptoms include skin ulceration, difficulty in breathing, inflammation of brain, and massive bleeding leading to death. While flagging off the 20,000 doses at Agricultural Training Center Kisii, the Deputy Governor Dr. Robert Munda said the response was to prevent anthrax from spreading. A team of veterinarians and public health officers has been dispatched to the outbreak area to administer the vaccine mixed with another to control black water disease in animals. Monda advised the officers to ensure livestock in the affected area was vaccinated before extending it throughout the county, and that private veterinary technicians be involved to cater for areas their counterparts would not access. He also called out to livestock owners to present their livestock for vaccination.
This disease affects both animals and human. And if not contained, it is possible it will spread to human. And so this is why we are asking our farmers that let's have our animals presented for vaccination so that we can stop the disease from causing harm to both animals and the human.
In Kisumu County, Governor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o has announced a partnership deal with the UK investment group United Green in a bid to revolutionize food production and general agriculture in the Lake region.
Today, as you know, we have signed
a milestone partnership between a UK investment group called United Green and Kisumu County, 42 Lake Ventures Company, an investment entity wholly owned by the county government of Kisumu. As you know, county governments are, under the County Government Act and the Constitution, allowed to set up special ventures or special purpose vehicles for purposes or transactions such as this one.
The 30 billion shilling partnership deal will be geared towards reviving the cotton industry, dairy and fish production in the county. Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, while speaking at the signing event on Tuesday, said the partnership will provide new markets for farmers through agri-fintech services.
This US dollars 250 million or 30 billion Kenyan shillings agriculture and food security investment program will no doubt revolutionize food production and general agriculture in the entire lake region. The resultant partnership will deliver agri-fintech services for rural communities, high productivity, climate smart farming, and state-of-the-art agro-industrial facilities, creating new market for farmers in the Lake Victoria Basin region over the next 5 years.
Pris Kanjeri, Lookuptv.
Flying through the streets of Central Park in New York.
Now let's get sporty. Kenyan boxer Sarah Cheng received a huge burst from homeboys and Safari Link.